is what you said. You said, what's so special about me? Most women aren't special.
Well, that's down to your personal opinion.
No, I'm like, seriously, what do women bring in 2022 that is special?
Nothing.
Do most women have a cookbook? Do most women really know how to cater to a man? No. Are most women virgins on their wedding day? No. So what do most women bring in 2022 that is special?
But why is it all about what we can offer? Why is it always about what we can bring?
Okay,
What's about our values?
Because when you're trying to sell a car, if you're trying to get married, right? And please, I'm not saying that women are cars. It's just an analogy. But if you're trying to sell a car, you have to study the buyer and figure out what the buyers want.
Not true. Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, everyone is special to someone. Like that saying goes, another man's trash is another man's treasure. You know what I'm saying?
Women will do anything for attention. Anything. And this is just part of female nature. Attention is to women as sex is to men.
Facts.
Well, but I will say I did not find Nick to be racist. My staff actually did not find him to be racist.
Wait, he was talking to an Italian girl next to you and saying that she shouldn't have a black boyfriend or something along those lines.
He doesn't believe in. See, I don't really want to go into like the race mixing stuff too much.
No, but you just said he wasn't being racist, and I watched him be racist on your show.
Well, I mean, to me, he says the same things that like there's a lot of people that think like that. But
it doesn't make it less racist just because other people think it.
You could say that, but to me, it's like, how do I put it? His argument is more about culture. It's easier if you date someone in your culture. You'd have to watch the full thing, but was like being a bit like combative to him. And to me, he was just like kidding. But yeah,
you did say, I am a bit racist, even in that. And in fact, in your apology, you said that he said racist things.
Well, there's a video coming out about all of that, but you'll see. It's coming.
Okay, but that doesn't change whether it's racist or not, right? But what I'm getting
Do you think it's racist to like, because I'm curious. Yeah. Do you think it's racist like if I'm Irish and I say I want to date someone that's Irish? Do you think that's racist?
No, but if I say to you, you're Irish, therefore you shouldn't date a black man, that is racist, yeah.
Now this is especially interesting because Gabby has a black boyfriend, you know? So it's like, you think that's wrong?
I do.
Yeah, she should break up with him?
I do think that, yeah. I prefer that she wasn't doing that.
Don't you said...
Oh, does it make you uncomfortable, Nick?
No. No, but it's wrong.
Why?
Why is it wrong?
She should find a nice Catholic Italian man.
I thought she's tainted now.
I'm tainted. I have tattoos.
Well, I mean, she is, so it's going to be a hard time for her, but she's got to live with that.
Oh, okay.
I never thought I would sit down and have a conversation with a known white supremacist, but here we are. Thanks for having me, Pearl.
Thanks for coming on.
I agree with this opinion. Not wanting to date a certain race is not racist. It's just a preference. Everyone is allowed to have preferences.
How do you feel about divorce? You said it should be banned?
Yeah, except for Will Smith, I'll give him one.
Divorce should be banned, but it should be heavily restricted along with the laws. And a lot of laws do need to change around marriage, divorce, and all that in order for people to take it more seriously. Saying that divorce needs to be banned is just a stretch in my opinion.
How many bodies does it take for a girl to become a hoe?
No, again, I think depending on age, again, it varies, but I think anything more than like double digits could be considered a hoe.
Okay. And by what age, roughly?
My age, I think even double digits after my age, I think.
You said you're 21?
Yeah.
Okay. 21, 10. Okay, fair.
Agreed. Double digits by 20s. Questionable.
Okay, go ahead.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily the body count that matters. I would say it's more about the time frame and age. For example, 7 bodies at 17 is very different than 7 bodies at 32.
Joining me now is a YouTuber and anti-feminist influencer, Pearl Davis. Thanks very much for being with us, Pearl. I obviously don't have a right to talk about this subject at all, but
Why
you
not?
do. Well, men aren't allowed to talk about women. We all know that.
Why?
Because we can establish what
Famous rule.
It's a safe space here.
Famous rule in the modern era. Yeah. Anyhow, what do you make of all this? Are you celebrating International Women's Day in a big way?
I think that we should focus on accomplishment rather than just being a woman.
I don't see the need to have an International Women's Day by virtue of just being a woman. Why don't we focus on something that we have accomplished? 50% of the population is born a woman. You didn't do anything to become competent at something or become great at something. It's just, celebrating being a woman for being a woman. And what have we really accomplished? We don't do the majority of hard jobs in society. 1 out of 3 of us has had an abortion. 1 out of 4 of us has an STD. 90% of us have been on birth control. The birth rate is falling because of women's choices. At the end of the day, why don't we talk about accomplishment rather than just focus on being a woman for being a woman? It's the same thing as a participation trophy.
Okay, but
I just don't see the point.
I follow you on part of that, but what's abortions and STDs got to do with it?
Oh, women's poor choices. I mean, honestly, we've had more choice in the last 100 years than ever, and we just choose poorly. For example, abortion, that's one example. STDs is another example. The birth rate is falling. We own 80% of the world's debt.
80%.
We're a net tax loss. We're the majority on benefits. So, and the point of that is that, by giving us participation trophies and saying that we've accomplished something that we haven't, in my opinion, all it does is enable us to make poor choices with no repercussions.
I don't think there's anything wrong with this. That's like someone saying, oh, we shouldn't celebrate Christmas because God is real. I would actually argue that most people that do celebrate Christmas don't even believe in God. They just want to celebrate it. She's just saying that a woman shouldn't be celebrating simply because she's a woman. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't even celebrate my birthday. I don't even celebrate Women's Day. So I actually did some research online the other day, and apparently there are 600 unofficial holidays. My God, dear Lord. It kind of reminds me of those 600 pronouns and 600 genders that we apparently have. If you want to celebrate a holiday, celebrate it. If you don't want to celebrate a holiday, you don't have to. Simple as that. Holidays are special to some people, and holidays are silly to others. Generally speaking, I do also think that you don't need a holiday to treat your family or to treat your girlfriend or your boyfriend special. Like you should treat them special every day.
Well, see, my thing with women voting is I just don't believe that you should get the freedom to vote without the responsibility that comes with it. I think you should be a net taxpayer. Okay. I think you should be doing the dangerous, hard jobs that men do in society.
Yeah, but there's some men who you go, surely he should not be allowed to vote.
Oh, I agree with you. I think a lot of men shouldn't vote too.
We're getting into kind of Chinese kind of when we decide who can and who can't vote. It's dangerous territory.
Well, no, in most of history, most people didn't vote. In the U.S., it was only land-owning males that could vote.
Yeah, but imagine you just look at your last election in the States, and obviously the big stolen election conspiracy or whatever it was. I don't know enough about it. But imagine selected people were allowed to vote. And then you had a result that didn't go for them.
If only men voted in the last 100 years, it would have gone conservative every time.
I do agree that voting shouldn't be a right, it should be a privilege. Some type of test should be required for anyone who wants to participate in voting. You gotta take a test to drive, you gotta take a test to hunt, you gotta take a test to own weapons, and voting is a pretty big deal if you ask me. So do you just automatically give it to someone because they say oh yeah, I want to vote for so-and-so? Just doesn't sit right with me.
I actually think that women like to be cheated on.
What?
Every time I ask the girls on the show, it'll be we'll talk about cheating, right? They'll bring up their ex that cheated. But my next question is always did you stay? And they always say yes. And when I first heard this, I thought it was crazy. I was like, there's no way girls like this stuff.
It's more similar to an addiction. It's the roller coaster, and then they go back because they miss.
Yeah. Did any of them tell you they liked being cheated on?
They didn't say that, but their actions, it's
a lot of women like to stay in abusive relationships. So do they like it because they stay there?
See, I feel like this is a trap question. It's a trap. It's this is what they do. They try to trap you.
Do you think addicts like to be addicts?
Honestly, I think some addicts do. I do. No, this is. I have relatives that are addicts. They just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Based. Okay.
I agree. Most women like bad boys. A lot of these women want to be on edge. They want to feel the thrill. They want the roller coaster, but not in a dangerous way. Another thing too, if you look it up, most people that have hyperstophilia are women. And if you don't know what that is, it's a condition where people are sexually attracted to people that are in prison. Most of them don't really like a man in it though.
New man said, "Oh, so what if your new man said, like, this guy has all the things you look for?
Yeah.
You know, if you pass up on him, it's like that you're not getting better. It's just not happening." And he says, "I don't do guy friends. I don't date girls that don't have guy friends. If you want to be with me, I'm looking for a wife. And if you want to be with me, I don't date girls with guy friends. What you doing?"
Let me interject on that.
No, I want to answer first.
She being messy. That's hard because the guy that I love would never say that to me. But in this moment, I'll answer it because it will be a black and white moment. Okay. I would say no.
So you would pass up on the
I would pass up on the guy
for him.
Yeah, because he should never make me feel like there is an ultimatum to invite somebody I've known longer than him.
Ultimatum, it's a standard.
It's standard.
See, this is like every time guys have a standard. I don't think you're doing it intentionally, but you kind of shame them for doing it.
Oh my
so if a guy says
gosh.
like, I don't want to date a girl with a bunch of guy friends hanging around. I don't want to date a girl that goes to the club. You're like, oh, why would you do that? Like that's controlling. If it's not controlling, it's a standard.
I agree with this. I see so many women online just losing this shit when they see a guy saying like, oh, I don't want a woman who's overweight. I don't want a woman going to clubs. But then they don't see one saying, oh, I want a man with money. Oh, I want a man who's taller than me. Like, dude, everyone is allowed to have preferences, man. Like, get over it. Men shouldn't get demonized for having preferences.